All right, so I just found a nice quiet place to sit and share a little testimony with you. Maybe you will relate to what I'm about to say, but it truly is the inspiration for everything that I'm doing right now. And let me take these off so I can give you some real talk. I was born and raised in a King James only church in elementary school. It was absolutely hellfire and brimstone, and definitely I was taught to fear God, and fear God I did. But it was a lot of PTSD came from that era of my life because the youth pastors, the pastors were very strict. It was everything you did wrong, you were burning in hell for. And you're living under this constant pressure to fear God. Now, I've always been one that questioned authority and questioned everything. So, of course, that came out in me with these people, and they weren't too happy about it when I did it. Case in point, one time I was called into my youth pastor's office because my hair was touching my ears. He called me in. This is a big no no in this particular denomination, we'll say. He said I was going to burn in hell. First off, he asked me if I was a little girl. And then he asked me if I wanted to burn in hell for eternity because that's exactly what I was going to do, having my hair like that. Now, as I'm thinking, my parents both worked 12 hours, 6, 7 days a week to afford this Christian private school. And it just so happened that week, now that I'm older, I understand, they just didn't have time to cut it. And it just didn't happen that particular week because they used to cut my hair every single week. So I was burning in hell, didn't understand any of that. And of course, I looked up on the wall right behind him. And I'm not going to say his name only because he's still a very prominent King James only pastor out there. And I just don't want to get in there because I look, at the end of the day, I think all these people probably mean well. But anyway, so I look up above him on the wall behind his desk, and I'm looking at a painting. Now, keep in mind, this had to have been 1980 or so. So that traditional picture of Jesus was up on the wall. Long haired, robe, kind of the hands out. And it hit me. What about that guy? He turned around and he was not happy. I got suspended for 3 days for that one. Now, at this particular school, at this church, I was definitely emotionally abused, borderline physical in some ways. I got locked in a closet, sat in front of the room with a dunce cap on. You got to stand at the chalkboard with your nose in a circle, and then your nose got all chalk dusted. Got paddled probably every other week or so. So I was absolutely a problem child inside of this system. Now, the problem with that, what I think today would be called PTSD, it led to a long period where 30 years probably I didn't go to church. I opted out, except for, say, Christmas, Easter, those type of things. But, I also saw the PTSD in me because as the church started to change, different Bible translations, modern music, drums, the style of dress changing to casual. I struggled with all those things. And anytime I would walk into a church, I'd be looking up, wondering, am I going to get a lightning bolt on me? Because I didn't want to burn in hell. And even though I completely rebelled against a lot of these things, they were still ingrained in me. And I did have faith in God and I did love Jesus. So there was always this battle, this war going on in my head. Now, I don't regret any of it because I'll say this, even though that school, that church made me question and step out of religion or church, not once did I ever question my faith in God or my belief in Jesus Christ. And I'm so, so grateful and thankful for that. But I will touch on salvation because about 8 years old, said youth pastor came into class and showed us a movie. And this movie was people burning in hell, maggots on their face and demons all around. And it was that type of visual. Well, of course, at the end of the clip, at the end of the show, Betamax, VHS, whatever it was, when he turned it off and asked if we all wanted to be saved, of course, every single one of us jumped up to do it, and we said the sinner's prayer. Now, was I saved that day? I don't know. I think I was, but of course, later in life, I reaffirmed and repented and really, really understood what it meant to accept Christ into your heart. Now, that didn't mean that I kept a good relationship with Jesus by any means. I think I did everything I could to run from my faith and all of that in the sense of just publicly and rebelling and all those type of things. But that seed was always there, was always, always there. Now, as I got older and, of course, started applying some of these things, I became an entrepreneur, a business owner, and my father always taught me two things you never speak about are politics and religion. Politics, of course, has gone out the window the last 10 years or so, but, religion still kind of stayed there. We didn't want to offend anybody, diversity, allyship, freedom, all those things that go with that. And I do believe in a lot of that stuff, of course, but I realized I wasn't fulfilling the Great Commission. I wasn't doing the things that I wanted to do. I also realized that I need to put my faith forward, that the days of me just saying, this is what I do as my profession are over. Now I say, look, I'm a servant of Christ that just happens to do this profession. As you read Ecclesiastes, you realize everything we do in this world is vanity. It doesn't matter. What is our legacy? Our legacy are the people that we impact with the good news, with the gospel. And I want to do more of that. So I know this was probably choppy. I'm out. I didn't really put this together. I'm just speaking from the heart here. But I am so happy to get connected more with God, with Jesus, to really have a deeper relationship and understand everything I've ever worked for has been vanity. I don't want to do that anymore because it doesn't matter. What is our purpose here other than to spread the good news and enjoy eternity with Jesus Christ? So a lot of people are hurting. We are fat. We are depressed. We are out of shape. We are suffering from high anxiety in our culture. We're very selfish. And Christian leaders need to step up. And I'm one of those that is willing to do it. And it all starts with this channel right here. So again, I really hope you join me on this journey as we go deeper. Hopefully the videos will continue to get better and I'll get more comfortable with this because I'm going to be honest with you. This is still not my default setting yet. It's still not completely my comfort zone. And I'm sure for a lot of you, it's not either. Some of the fears that I have are, well, number one, in the Bible, it says that teachers, and if that's what I'm doing here, teachers are judged harsher. So it goes back to the fear of God. That's number one. And number two, I never wanted to use God or Jesus as a marketing plan. And that kind of helped me navigate not putting my faith forward for a long time, even as I started growing closer and getting that reconnection back. Um, so those are probably my two biggest fears. I no longer have the fear of losing business or what people will think of me or anything like that because none of that matters, of course. But as you read the Bible and you go deeper, you realize those things that, look, Christ died for us, for our sins, for everything that we've done. Can we respect him and share that news with others? I mean, the worst thing you can do is not share the gospel with somebody, to not try to have a positive impact on that person. You want them to burn in hell forever? No, we don't want anybody to do that. So I really made a commitment in 2023 to love God with all my heart, mind, and soul, and to work hard to love others as I love myself, which that's the hard one, right? And then 2024, I really want to live that faith-fueled life and putting my faith first above everything else and then integrating it into everything I do. So again, I do hope you join me on this channel and everything that I'm working on because I really do feel we can make a difference in a culture right now that is in so much pain. And the next few years are not going to get easier. Like I thought that was a snake or something. So I should be protected by God right now, right? So that's what I have for you. So just know I love each and every one of you, and we can do this. So let's just do it together.